everybody, Jesus loves you. My name is Cody, and you're watching the Monday episode of that Christian news show thing that I do. If you haven't found Jesus yet, do so, and respawn. Truth! And going straight into the news, our first story today is about the Coptic Pope. I don't know if I'm saying Coptic right, or Coptic, or whatever it is. But the Coptic Pope, who was in Egypt, died recently, and so now they are having his funeral. I don't know much about Coptic Christianity, but it is being labeled as Christianity, and so that's obviously bringing a lot of Christians into Egypt. I didn't really have time to study up on the Coptic thing. But, as of right now, the Christians in Egypt are being persecuted by Islam. So what's happening is this is bringing a lot of Christians to a really heated place for Christians to be. As for when I'm filming, there's already been 3 deaths and dozens of injuries. So it is really awesome to see that Christians are so dedicated to this that they'll go even though they are risking their lives. But it's really scary for them. There's people losing loved ones. So prayers out to them. People just trying to follow their customers getting killed for it. Kind of sucks. And in North Korea, there are plans to send a satellite up into space illegally. The United Nations have a global law that says you can't use rockets to propel anything. Saying that North Korea is just using this as like a test rocket, and the real plan is to test this rocket so that they can use it for warfare. And this wouldn't be the first time that North Korea has gone against these kind of rules. China, who's actually partnered with North Korea, is saying don't do this, which is kind of weird because they're partners. But it also means that the United States won't be giving North Korea the food that we promised them because they're going against what we told them not to do. To me, being an American on the outside looking in, North Korea is a really scary place. I mean, we honestly don't know what's all going on over there. They try to keep everything secretive and they like it that way. So of course I'm always keeping an eye on them whenever they pop up in the news. I'm really curious to see where everything goes with them in the future. So I know it's not Christian news, but I'm a Christian, I'm interested in it, so I figure other Christians will be too. Our third story is about slavery in Mauritania. Mauritania was the last country to abolish slavery, and that was in the 80s, but they didn't make it a crime to have slaves, which confused me, but pretty much it was illegal, but there was no punishment for it. So of course nobody really paid attention to the law, and slaves continued. Then in 2007 they started to make it a crime, but since then only one person has been persecuted for being a slave master. It simply means the government and the authorities just don't care. So I found the story on CNN, and they're just trying to spread the word that there is slavery going on. And they say that that's the only country where slavery takes place, which obviously isn't true. There's sex slavery even here in the States, but it is one of the last places where slavery is openly okay to people. So I do ask you guys to go check this out. It's really informative. It's really crazy to me that slavery is this big of a deal anywhere still. And it is legal, so if we cause awareness and we make this public, then there's more of a case for people to actually turn their masters in. The most worrisome part about this entire thing is people don't realize that they're slaves. They don't call it slavery there. They don't have a name for it, it's just people who farm. They're treated with livestock, and if you were to ask a slave, they say, that's my family. And the other big problem with this is the government's not giving the slaves finances. So even if they are freed, then they're starving, they have no job, and they're sent out to this outcast desert with no food or water. And so what happens is a lot of them go back to their masters because that's where they can get their food and water, and it's their way to survive. So it's a really sad predicament. If anything, on the link, go to the video that's on there. It's in the middle of the page. It astonishes me that slavery is so big still. So I'm just really glad that CNN and SOS Slavery, which is the organization that made the video, are coming together and trying to make this public, because this is really important. And our final story is about the British church. Turns out that evangelism is rising in Britain, and it seems like the churches really aren't ready for this. They've been on such a pattern that this change is kind of difficult for them. And it does make a lot of sense because there's a lot of people leaving the church right now. And now, even though there's a lot of people leaving the church, the other Christians that are there are becoming more strong in their faith. But obviously if you have people leaving, you have money leaving the church, and that's never good, especially if you have a certain budget and then that budget is gone. But it's kind of cool because these Christians are being more evangelical. People being ordained is on the rise. More people are taking Christianity seriously, which definitely is an awesome thing. But again, on the other hand, you have the people leaving, so you don't really know which is better. And that is my question today to you guys. What do you think? Do you think it's better to have a lot of Christians and some of them be kind of lukewarm, weekend warrior type people? Or do you think it's better to have fewer Christians who are more concrete in their faith? As always, love to see what you guys say. So first of all, subscribe and then leave a comment in the comment section below with your answer. Every video I randomly pick a comment from a subscriber in the video and give them a $10 gift card to c28.com or amazon.com, depending on which they choose. So go do that, and we go to the verse of the day. And the verse of the day is Luke 14:27. And whoever does not pick up their cross and follow me can't be my disciple. And of course, that's Jesus speaking to his people. And so that's all that I really found interesting in the news today. So in closing, haters keep hating, Christians keep praying. To everybody like, subscribe. I will see you later, and God bless.